Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Let's Do This. My name is Carl Applewhite, and I'm going to be talking to you today from the title Moses Called While Afraid. Called While Afraid. Moses called while afraid. On Monday, we talked about feeling not good enough. Today, we're looking at someone in the Bible who felt exactly that way. Moses. You remember Moses, the Ten Commandments, Charleston Heston. We're talking about him this morning. When God called Moses at the burning bush, Moses didn't respond with confidence. You know, when I read this, when I think about this, I feel peace on the inside because Moses, the man that the Bible said God talked with face to face, God himself, most high, that created everything, the source of all things, said that his prophets and people he comes to in dreams and he revealed things to them. But Moses, he speaks to him face to face. This Moses didn't have confidence when God called him. He was afraid when God called him. He responded with excuses. He basically said, "Who am I to do this? What if people didn't believe me? I'm not a good speaker. Please send someone else." Listen to that. Moses basically said, "Who am I to do this? What if people don't believe me? I'm not a good speaker. Please send someone else." Moses was afraid. He doubted himself. He didn't think he was capable. But notice something powerful. Lord, I love you. God didn't argue with Moses about his weakness. God promised his presence. God didn't say, "Moses, you're strong enough." God said, "I'll be with you." It sounds like if God with you, that's all you need. That's the difference. God with you. God's power has never depended on Moses' confidence. And it's still true today. God doesn't need you to be fearless. He needs you to be willing. That's all he wants. Are you willing to let God have his way in your life? Are you willing to do what God called you to do? None of us was just born just to into this world just to work and to get off work and to go home and to eat and to watch a little TV or to read and then go to bed and then get up again and go to work for 40 years. He has a calling on our life. The Bible says that that there's a book that God has written about us before we were even born, that God had written about us. He knows us. I think it was David that said, "What is man that you are mindful, God, of him?" And then it goes on to say he was made a little lower than the angels, or the little lower than the, let me tell you the truth. The angels is translated, it's really Elohim, which means God. But man was made a little lower than God. So actually, it's God, man, and then the angels. Isn't that beautiful? So there's something about us that God made us. We're not insignificant. We're not just here for nothing. There's a reason that God created us. Moses felt unqualified, but God saw a deliverer. And sometimes God sees something in you or us that you didn't yet see in yourself. Isn't that something? Sometimes, God sees things in us that we don't even see in ourselves. I like that. Moses felt unqualified, but God saw a deliverer. Remember what he did? Let's talk about a little bit what Moses did. God called him. There was a bush burning, and he noticed that bush was on fire, but it was not burning up. It was not consumed. That got his attention. And then God spoke out to him and called him, God himself, and then sent him to Pharaoh, which Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, the most powerful country in the world at that time. And then that ruler even thought he was a god. The pharaohs thought they were gods. God sent Moses to Pharaoh to say, let my people go. And then because Pharaoh didn't let the people go, things began to happen. Supernatural things. Supernatural things. They were infested with frogs and fleas and flies and locusts. Then, it was dark in the middle of the day for 3 days. The water turned to blood. And I'm skipping a bunch of them right now, but one of the horrible things was that the firstborn of Egypt, Pharaoh's son, to the firstborn of his servant, died. Can you imagine going to bed in the middle of the night, let's say 12 midnight, you hear screams, and because somebody got up to go to the bathroom, they noticed that their son was dead, that their firstborn was dead. These are the screams that you hear in the middle of the night. So you get up the next morning, and all the firstborn from the throne of Pharaoh to his servants were dead. But on the Israelite side, they had light. Nobody died. I mean, what you gonna say? What you gonna say? Who you gonna say did that? Yet you have to know that God did this. Yeah, God sent the death angel in and just wiped firstborn out. And then Pharaoh let the people go. And then God opens up the Red Sea and they walk across on dry land. I mean, just all these miraculous things. And there's no doubt, you can't say that it was a phenomenon or it's just some man did this. No, God did it. So remember this, Moses felt unqualified. Do you feel unqualified? I have. But guess what? God saw a deliverer. What does God see in me? What does God see in you? Isn't that exciting? Whatever God sees in you is positive. So let's find out what God wants us to do, and let's do it. Okay? Excuse me. Again, happy Wednesday. Have a good day.